Action. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Main Cast podcast. With the Main Cast, I'm your host, Caleb Cowles.
Miss Tiffany Smith, everybody.
And today, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a special guest. I'm sure you can see that there is an extra star in the sky shining way too bright.
Oh, that's
So we would like to introduce our very first guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hello guys, thank you for having me. I'm the Miss Mickey Mons and I'm so excited to talk about all the important things that we need to talk about. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
Nice, Miss Mickey Mons. Thank you so much for joining us. We've been trying to get her in the studio with us. It's been a mission because she's busy
Busy ladies,
influencing the world, bossing up.
Okay.
And so we're just glad that you could join us today. You know, me and Tiffany have been talking about it. We obviously did a bit of research.
Okay.
And we were like, yeah, she's the perfect fit. She's definitely got something to put on the stage that we can feed the people with.
The
I'm on it.
presence is there.
Thank you.
It's definitely there.
Exactly. So here we are. So today's topic is going to be a broad topic that encompasses around self-empowerment and improving from where you are today to where you can be tomorrow through spirituality, through understanding the levels of dependence and independence, as well as just career paths and how it all ties in together with self-development and self-progress. So that being said, Miss Mickey Mons,
Yes.
how do you identify spirituality? Because, you know, everyone says there's religion, there's faith, there's this and that, but to you, what is spirituality exactly?
Okay, so to put it in perspective, growing up very, very relaxed, very Christian. Every Sunday, gotta go to church, this is what it is, read your Bible, blah, 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 blah. But when you get older, it's a little different. You find your own space, you find your own personal relationship with who your creator is. So for me, it's changed completely. I don't need to go to church every Sunday. I feel like if I can have a conversation, or if I could just say a prayer in the morning and be grateful, or write down a few notes about what I want to change about who I am or how I am in life, then that works for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't need to be in a four-wall space with people all the time where I want to fall asleep. That's not working for me.
So it's a personal journey that
1000%.
no one can judge you on because it's so personal.
No, I don't allow that anymore. My family tried, my mom tried, and she knows now it's not happening. It's my way or the highway.
Wow. What about you, Tiffany? How do you feel about spirituality? How do you identify that in your day-to-day belief system and overall process?
I just feel like I involve God enough as it is in everything that I do. I'm very well set in my head about, how I live my life, how I conduct myself, and I involve God in everything. Like you said, you don't need to go to church every day to actually have God in your life. It's about your own personal journey and your own walk. So that's how I see it for me.
Yeah, nice. For me, I think it's also a bit of the same. I grew up in a very strictly Christian family. Both my parents are pastors. Half of my siblings are pastors.
Right.
So I've always had this pressure to kind of live up to the
Very modest.
to the church's expectation.
Right.
More so like, this is worldly, this is worldly, this is worldly. Here are the boundaries, here are the rules, here are the laws. You can't act like this, you can't have tattoos, you can't make secular music. And to a certain extent, I understand why it's there.
Right.
Because most people don't have the internal strength and discipline to live according to the faith. And I'm not talking about the religion, I'm not talking about the church, the Easter Sundays, just the principles of the faith without the guidance that the community, which is the religion, kind of pushes you towards. But I agree with the both of you in that at some point, once you're solid in your belief, it becomes a personal, individual journey.
It becomes so easy for you. Like you want to. You're like, oh no, this makes me feel good. This is moving me forward in life. I don't feel like it needs to be a stressful thing where you feel bad. You can't be your authentic self or feel bad about who you are. Just be real. Like, who are you to judge me? You know what I mean? So yeah, I just think it's very personal.
100%. So from your experience, say maybe in recent times, how has your internal strength been tested?
Oh my gosh, wow. On many levels, many levels. But one thing I will say is I realized that I was being tested the moment I drifted. Because the moment you drift away, you're not following the principles that you need to follow in order to get you to where you want to be, to keep your mind sane, to keep you out of trouble. You know what I mean? You need that extra layer of protection over you, but you have to want to do it. You have to be like, this is what I feel is necessary in my life, not because so and so is telling me to do it or you need to go here to do it. It's because of what am I going to benefit from that in the long run. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
And I mean, that's where the independence factor comes in, right? Because at some point you need to ask yourself, do I believe what I believe because mommy and daddy told me to? Do I live the way I live because mommy keeps calling me and telling me this is how I need to live? Or do I own myself
Ownership.
and my path and my decisions and fully embark on that journey of independence, which applies in many different aspects of your life, from how you think, how you decide, who you hang out with, where you go, what you believe. So that's why I feel like those two things link. And what about you, Tiffany? How in recent times has your spiritual core, your belief system, has been tested to the point where you're sitting in a room by yourself and you're questioning the decisions you've made that have brought you to this point?
Every couple of months, I have to do some introspection,
Yes.
self-reflection, where it's like, what am I actually
What am I doing?
You know,
Right.
like what is the purpose of this? Especially when things go completely off field from what you are ready for. It's like, what is this trying to teach me? You know?
Exactly.
And then you have to really go back to what you know, where you've been raised, your roots, and what you believe in to actually center yourself again.
100%.
So you get tested all the time on so many levels.
Yeah, on a daily.
On a daily.
Absolutely. People will test you all the time.
Oh no, they do the most.
Now this is where I gotta play devil's advocate. Because people test you all the time, but those people say the same thing. And when they say people test you all the time, they may be referring to you. Because
Right.
we test people all the time, because we're also full of shit every once in a while, because no one's perfect, right?
Agreed.
So how do you handle, for example, a parent or a friend stabbing you in the back?
The new me, the old me. Like, I don't know. I've never been the type
to be
to be malicious or confrontational. I just feel like it takes so much energy out of me, whereas I could just digest it and be like, you know what, I recognize that in you. Let me just be understanding, but also set a boundary between you and I that you don't need to know about it at all. This is for my peace, my sanity. I'm gonna wake up in the morning every day with myself, so you're not gonna be there. But it's important to establish boundaries, 1000%.
But the accountability factor is still there, right? Because you do know that you're not 100% right
True.
in every situation.
True.
So do you feel that maybe we lie to ourselves a lot, coming out of confrontations where we feel like we're the victim? I was right more than they were, but you actually...
You have a fault in yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You clicked the trigger. You actually pressed the red button. So to what extent do you feel that you're accountable in those situations?
Perhaps internally, I definitely will backtrack and be like, maybe you're asking for too much. Maybe you're nagging too much. Maybe their mindset is not like yours. So give them the benefit of the doubt that they don't think the way you think. They don't think to be 10 steps ahead of the game like you. That's your personality. We are just so different as individuals. It's actually so crazy. But people think, no, there's black and white, and that's it. It's one or the other, but it's not the case at all.
What do you think, Tiffany?
The pity in me. No. You know what it is? It's like sometimes in certain situations, I definitely feel like
Choosing better.
no, it's not even about that. Like, I don't always like go out of my way to actually tell someone when they've done wrong.
Okay, yes.
And when I feel like I'm coming out of my own skin to actually address the situation, it's like you've reached a point, like you've hit something. Because I don't like confrontation. I cry for almost anything. Like anything will make me cry.
Right.
And I feel like if I genuinely feel like
You have to get to that point that you got to say something. It's
or like,
really
I
deep.
feel like you are the immediate problem. It's like then you must have done something.
Right.
Because if I know I've done something, I'll own it. I mean, I'll say
Oh,
it's
yeah.
you.
Oh, yeah.
But there's something in me that will behave a certain way with you.
The energy will change. You can feel energy all the time. My mom says that about me a lot. Like when we have conflicts, I don't have time to be mad at you for 10 days. My mom does. I'm over it. In 5 minutes, are we going to talk about it or not? Or are we going to move on? Because I got work tomorrow. I want to be happy. I want to wake up good. My day is going to go on. And she tells people that all the time. Oh, Michaela, like, doesn't like for us to fight. She'll come in, talk to me and say, hi, Ma, you fine? What are we going to eat tonight? I'm over it. Because you never know what's going to happen in the next hour, the next day, the next few weeks. You may not be there. And then we were angry at each other for something so petty.
Exactly.
So I'm trying to keep my personality along those lines
So you
of just being a little bit.
try and keep yourself in check.
I really do. Whether the person receives it or not.
When you hold on to like negative emotions, it hurts you more than it hurts that person.
Oh, yes.
Like they could be on the beach
They're
somewhere
living their life.
sipping on
Thank
some
you.
cocktail.
And you sit
Not
here
bothered.
like, oh.
Exactly.
Yes.
And they could literally give 0 fucks.
Yeah,
Zero.
it's like carrying a bag of bricks on your shoulders.
Literally.
Each time you decide not to bring it up or let it go, it's going to get heavier. And how you're going to go about your life carrying that bag on your back. It's not going to be easy. Think about yourself, love yourself, take care of yourself, put yourself first. Because what's the next person doing? The exact same thing. Don't feel bad about that.
Sure. You said something
Especially when someone
interesting.
puts a knife in your back. It's like they were thinking about themselves. They were
Yeah.
not thinking about you.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
But love yourself. I feel like that is probably one of the biggest key words of
yeah.
the past 4 years. It's like hashtag love yourself, treat yourself. It's all about you.
Mental health.
But
yes.
I feel like to a certain extent we express that the wrong way.
Really?
Because I feel like in our generation, love yourself means pamper yourself. You know,
Okay.
take yourself out. You know, everything is about you. Everything is about me.
Right.
I'm gonna go on social media. I'm
Post
gonna
a
post me. Like me. Buy my products. Listen to my music. Follow my stories. But in my mind, that feels like a bit of self-obsessive toxicity.
Right.
So where do we draw the line between self-love and actual self-growth? Because just because you're all about me, doesn't mean you're actually growing, because
Internally,
growth
yeah.
relates to your connections to other people.
100%.
So if you remove yourself from your home, you're like, you know what, my mom is nagging me, I'm moving out. My boyfriend's a dick, we're breaking up. All of my friends don't give me the treatment that I need, I'm cutting them off. It's me. You have this successful career, you make it to the top, and then you look around and you're by yourself. No one to celebrate with you. So where do you think we draw the line between self-love and self-growth? Because a big part of growth means making peace,
Yes.
coming to terms, cutting the loose ends,
Right.
you know, getting the closure, giving that apology even if it's not mutual,
Right.
you know, releasing that negativity from yourself. And a lot of people are too arrogant to go to the enemy and say, you wronged me, but it's okay because I'm moving forward.
Very
So from your
arrogant.
perspective, when is it self-obsessive toxicity and when is it actually self-love and growth?
I feel like I'm so excited to answer this question. The thing that I've learned about life in general, you got to be realistic. Just start by being realistic. Set realistic goals. Just start somewhere, one step at a time, and see how that works out for you. Don't try to jump the gun or take 25,000 steps before, because I promise to God, everyone has to just travel the path of life and figure it out. You know what I mean? So just being realistic and authentic, because you can get in your own mind, like you said. You feel so much confidence because you're going to post this pic right now and you know 8,000 people are going to like this picture. But when you put your phone down and you're at home, it's you and your electricity and Netflix. Like, come on now. Like, let's just get it together. You know what I mean? So rather just have a handful of friends. You don't need to see each other every single day. You don't need to talk to each other every day. You know, this friend works. This friend is studying towards something. We can come together at a later stage. Let's check in with each other. What are we doing? Are we progressing? Why are you not progressing? How can I help? So that's my energy in life, like
building
healthy relationships, because I know what a bad relationship looks like, and it's so crippling. It's terrible. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps.
It can take a lot from you.
it can suck your soul out of you. And then when you realize, like, this is not meant to be this way, I need to change, I need to stop. What if I actually do the reverse? Let's see if I put all that energy into me. I've put about 365 days times 2 into one human being, and I decreased completely. And then when I left, it was like, whoa, what? I can do this on my own?
A blur.
Yeah.
Wait. You put how much time into one person?
Yeah, about 2 years into what? Like, when I say time, I mean
365 times 2.
times 2. When I say so much time, wasn't working, staying with the person, doing laundry, cooking and cleaning, driving up and down, packing your bag, taking out, you know what I mean? I was that person. And then I looked in the mirror and I'm like, what are you getting out of this? Your love for this person is so much that they can't even recognize it. Even your family has noticed, like, you go above and beyond for a stranger who's not your blood, but for your family, your mother, your father, you can just shun them away. That really switched my mind. I was like, that's so sad. How could I do this to people who